right. So yes, we finally got her here.
Yeah,
Yay.
I have arrived.
She has arrived. Okay, so we had some technical difficulties at first. So if you guys are here, thank you so much for your patience again. This is Mental Intimacy Magazine podcast, and we are coming back with Miss Ashley. The mommy that say bad words too.
I do
So
say lots of bad
I
words.
know
I
I swear a
know.
lot too. God damn it! But no, sometimes that helps when you have mental illness. It's like it feels like it's an extra word that puts
It
it there.
is. There's sometimes they're the only appropriate words to describe a situation, and you do what you got to do.
Yeah. So it's like, when I was just speaking of you, I was like, that is the best name ever. Because at the end of the day, like what mom is not having that meltdown and like, God damn it, or whatever her perfect swear. I think every parent has that perfect swear word that just comes out so frustratingly. So it's, at the end of the day, I'm glad we're back so we can finish out this month. As everyone is aware, it is Suicide Prevention Month.
Yes.
And we wanted to, you guys asked, like seriously asked. And she is back. We wanted to make sure we finish this out. And so Ashley,
Yes,
aka,
ma'am.
I want you to go ahead and just tell people a little bit about yourself that they don't already know, or they may need to know but haven't heard anything about you before.
Oh gosh, if you have not heard about me, you're it's probably a good thing. If you have heard, I'm sure you've heard many of rumors. Um,
Right.
I have a meme page. I've had several because mine keep getting shut down for no reason.
Hmm.
But I also talk about chronic illness, mental health, sexual assault, abuse,
Hmm.
kind of an advocate for those things. So I routinely post about those and just a mom who says bad words, pretty
I know.
much. I mean, that's kind of it.
I love it
Just a,
though. I love it. And wait a minute, I have to go back and tell people how you and I became the best of the best. I was invited to this wonderful game show that she hosts. And I went in there and met some other fabulous women. And we talked about 90 Day Fiance. So if y'all guys don't watch 90 Day Fiance, just mute yourself because that show is crazy. And so that's how we came about as being connected. And then we got
hmm
connected on different other levels when it came down to having conversations about mental health. And so Ashley wanted to have an open discussion today. And if you have any questions, please do put them in the chat. We would love to try to answer them. We are not doctors and not professionals. I mean, we're professional
Mm-mm.
people, but we're
I only have a BA in psych, so that's about as far as my psych education goes. So,
yeah, and I have an AS in healthcare administration. No wonder why we flow together.
right? I got a
So,
little bit of insight into psychology, but I'm not a doctor, clearly.
yeah, no, we're good at saying safe at where we're at right now,
I
and just
know.
speak off of experience. Because again, if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, there's the new suicide prevention lifeline 988. So I want to encourage you if you feel like you ever alone. And like I was explaining earlier, I had a podcast yesterday, and it's all about having that active listener at the end of the day, and they will actively listen to you. Sometimes we feel alone, and you never know as far as what your day is going to be like, and all it takes is just a trigger. So, what did you want to start off with, Ashley?
Wherever you want me to start. Just one thing about the suicide prevention. On my profile,
Mhm.
which I don't know is linked. I don't know if you can link it. I am doing a fundraiser for the suicide prevention hotline. It's going to be up there for months. I don't plan on taking it off.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, there's been no donation so far, but if you
Yeah,
want to donate, I do have the fundraiser in my profile.
I love that. And if you want, put it in the chat, and I'll put it in the banner and run it across. So when we're done with the live, it'll still be going, and
Oh,
hopefully
good.
that will be successful. And I tend to see that as well too. Let's talk, since we're doing an open discussion. Let's talk about that because I feel that those types. of organizations that are geared to helping people mentally don't really get the money and donations that they should. I
No,
think a
they
lot of
absolutely
other
don't.
things that serve priority than mental health. And if you don't have your mental health together, how can you do anything else? So I don't understand, because sometimes I'll pin, especially I had one that I had pinned for veterans. And I was like, okay, everyone's like, hey, support the veterans. I'm here for the veterans. And I didn't get even a dime. And it's like, wait a minute. So you need to see me donate first before you donate. So definitely put it in the chat. I'll put it in here and set it up as a banner so it can be a going across, so we can support those organizations that are definitely looking out for those that are suffering from mental health. And I feel like it's underrated. It's not
It
a
is.
heavily rated conversation or donation spot. And definitely, if you're an organization, or if you are a employee that deals with CFC, which is the Combined Federation campaign, look on there this season when you're ready to donate and find something that's discussing mental illness or wellness and things of that nature, and donate to them during your CFC donation. And it's a tax free. It's right off, people. Okay, I'm done.
Right?
I'm done.
Five
Actually, my rant.
$5. I know, no, but you're right though. And the mental health, it gets overlooked. Like I've had, I've done fundraisers for rare diseases because I myself have a rare disease,
Hmm.
and we don't get the recognition or anything. Not a dime from that.
Hmm.
And then mental health, not a dime for that. But if I were to do, say, like a cancer research one, oh my God, there'd
Hmm.
be like $1 million in there. But it's like,
Amen.
I'm like, but it's like your mental health is, I mean, obviously there's nothing really the equivalent to cancer, but
Right.
it's kind of a cancer of your mind if you don't have it in check.
Oh, see, you already digging into my next month's magazine topic, ma'am. You stop looking at my wallet and stop looking at my computer. You're over here scamming.
Sorry.
But it's definitely true, though. It's definitely true. And I'm glad you touched base on that, because this is the season of giving. Everyone starts that countdown of season of giving, but it should always be a gift. It shouldn't just be a season. Like
Mm-mm.
mental health is not a seasonal thing. Neither is
No, it's not.
cancer. No illness is just a seasonal thing. I mean, besides your allergies, but that's trainable. You know what I mean? So like at the end of the day, I feel like it's underserved and underlooked, and honestly, I don't know why it's like that. And I think because a lot of people don't want to admit to it. And a lot of people feel if they admit to it, I know me personally, when I was told that I had it, um, having kids just makes it even more of an anxiety, because you feel like if you have a moment, someone's going to come and snatch your kids. That was
Yeah,
always my biggest fear
that's
when
awful.
dealing with mental health and having children. But I know I'm not the only one that's had that
No.
idea. It's like, okay, if I raise my hand and say I'm having issues, and I'm not taking care of myself and I'm not treating myself, then someone's going to be like, okay, she's not fit enough to be a parent. And because you're just thinking mental health, and it's like, well, wait a minute, show me what I need to do and show how I can take care of myself and my kids. Thank God I didn't have to go through that, but it's just that's a challenge right there. So if anybody knows parents or family members that you know that go through that, it's just hopefully is the stigma of it gets told a little bit more, because it's just scary, and I think a lot of people don't want to talk about it.
No, because there's a stigma, and especially in certain cultures, even if you have it, even if it's blatantly obvious that you have some sort of mental health disorder,
Hmm.
they can't, you don't want to be labeled that because you're automatically crazy. And especially with like PTSD, oh my
Hmm.
God, you must be crazy.
Hmm.
It's like, well,
Yes.
I'm nuts, but not in that way.
But why do I got to be called crazy though?
It's
Let's talk about it. I mean, we say open discussion. I'm just saying, like, why do we have to be crazy?
I
Why does it have to be labeled crazy? And I think that's the other thing is, when we talk about the stigma, it's more, it's like, okay, well, she's crazy because she has a mental illness. And it's like, no, I'm, I'm chemically imbalanced. That's what it is. You know, it's not, hey, look, she's crazy. She off her rockers. I'm telling my age when I say that, but
there's
you
my
off
girl
your rockers.
Susan. Hi,
Yes.
Susan.
And so it's just unfortunate. It's like the names are crazy. She's not wrapped too tight. The statements like that. It
No.
takes a lot, and it's like a person that's dealing with mental health or mental illness, they don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear I'm
No.
crazy.
R-
I mean myself, I know I feel like I'm crazy, but I don't need you to tell me I'm crazy. So, how do
And
you
it's
feel about that though?
people, I feel like people act like mental health is a choice.
Oh,
I
that was
do.
deep.
I
That was deep.
feel like, okay, if you've got rheumatoid arthritis, okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
you get treated for that and you're normal,
Hmm.
but it's something that's out of your control. Okay, well, my PTSD is something that's completely out of my control,
Hmm.
but you're calling me crazy. Why am I not crazy for having rheumatoid arthritis? It's the same
Hmm.
thing. It's something you cannot control. You didn't choose
Hmm.
it. I mean, whether
Hmm.
it's trauma based, whether it's chemically, whether it's both, you did not choose the path that you're on.
Right.
But
Exactly.
I feel like they think it's a choice. Like, oh, I woke up one day, I was like, hey, you know what'd be fun? Let's have anxiety.
Oh God. Like if
Like,
they only knew. Like it sucks, people. Let me just,
it's like I just decided one day I woke up is like, you know what would be really fun? Let's just have anxiety. And then the next day
Oh,
it's like, let's add some depression in there. I mean, it just seems like I
oh,
need to spice it up. It's like you don't you don't choose it. It's not a
yeah,
choice. You're the
yeah.
choice to get help is a choice.
Yes. Say that again. Like that is.
It
It's you.
is
You have to. And I tell that to people too. Like, when you and I first discussed, I say, hey, look, people would tell me, hey, won't you go and talk to somebody? And I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody because sometimes you feel, well, me personally, I feel that, hey, I appreciate my doctor. I appreciate the doctors that do it, but sometimes it's easier to speak to someone that's been in that same environment or in those shoes. And they
absolutely.
can't tell you, hey, look, I'm speaking from my personal experience because that's not their job.
No,
I'm sure most of them went into their field because someone had that issue in their family or they are themselves are dealing with it. So, they can't give their advice. They can just only go by the book and give you that. And when you're dealing with this, I don't want to buy a book. I want somebody that can sit here and say, hey, look, guess what? Um, I've been there and I take the same medication just as much as you do. And it feels good to talk to somebody because when it comes down to mental illness, everyone always says you are not alone. But people feel alone because they
absolutely.
they go to a doctor. It's like, okay, I'm giving you textbook. I want you to give me feelings, and you're not gonna get that. So that's why I decided to start this because it it helps me feel more therapeutic to know, like, hey, look, it's just not me because we always would think it's just us. So
Yeah. I'm the only one that has this. I'm the only one that has these triggers. And you realize that you're not the only one. I mean, I don't know how many times I've come to you and been like, okay, I
yes,
need, this is going on, that's going on. And you always ground me. And that's
I'm
something I
like,
appreciate more than you can understand. But I think that's what everybody needs. Everybody needs that one person that can help ground them.
mm-hmm,
And I also have a close group of friends. Susan, who's in the chat, is one of
I
them.
know.
Um, we all suffer from some type of mental illness, whether it's PTSD or anxiety, depression. And there's a group of about five of us, and we all ground each other. And that's
Mm-hmm.
something that beyond grateful for and I'm extremely fortunate to have, but most people don't. And
Mhm.
it's really heartbreaking because they just
It is. Okay, let's see. Let's see what Sue says. Sue says, I always said you would treat a broken leg. Why wouldn't you treat a broken brain? That is so true.
it
Chemically,
is.
it's a little broken, chemically unstable. Fix it, and you feel so much better. Definitely, you treat it and feel much better. I don't. So, what have you done, Ash, to help you help your? I mean, even though we know we take whatever we need to do to help with the balance, but it's not a cure all. So, what have you done to try to help out? With keeping that balance. I know you told us in the first one, but I'm scared to ask again because I might get my tail whooped. So you go ahead and explain what you do as your as your
the
therapeutic thing. Okay, I'm not.
the main one is I take several medications. I want to say about one, two, three, four medications for all my mental health. And
Mhm.
a lot of them are just, I call them kickers. Like the first medication works, but not enough, and you need something to kind of make it work more.
Yeah.
So I have two medications and I got two kickers to make them work. And it took a long time to find the right medication because I would go through everyone in the book and it either didn't work or I would get some awful side effects from it. Like, I mean, literally Lexapro, Prozac,
Oh, oh,
Seroquel. I have tried everything and it took me years to find the right medicine combination that works.
yeah, yeah. And
It,
hold up, but I didn't mean to cut you off. But you know what? You sound like a pusher. But no, I'm just, like seriously, like those and I can relate to that because when you're trying to, as a person that's already dealing with mental illness, when you're trying to get the correct medication, you don't want your doctor to feel like, no, I'm just a druggie. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh, yes.
because it's like,
Yeah.
well, this is no longer working for me. It's like, I need to change this. I've been on this for 10 years. Can we
Yeah.
change this? Like, my body is changing. I'm getting older, not younger. So, some stuff that used to work in this antidepressant isn't working anymore. And it's like, when you ask for it, they looking at you like, well, why you got to change it?
That has happened to me so many times. And that's not just with mental health medication, that's with medication, period. Like
Mhm.
it'll work for a certain period of time, and then my body's like, we're not going to work anymore. So then you have
Right.
to try. And it's obnoxious and it's frustrating. And some people would give up and say, well, I've tried 3 medications, nothing works. So fuck it, I'm not going to take any meds.
Mhm.
Can't do that. You've got to be persistent. You've got to find something that works for you.
Mhm.
But in addition to the medication, I have a really strong group of friends that I talk to a million times a day, and they've been my rocks. I can tell them anything. They're gonna support me regardless.
Love that.
Um, and then of course I have my kickboxing, which I am currently in my kickboxing outfit. I have not showered yet.
Oh
I
my
will tell
gosh! See, y'all
you.
see why I ain't want to say nothing, right? This is why I ain't want to say anything, because
Oh yeah. That
I'm gonna get
has
my
been,
ass whooped, so I'm
yeah,
okay.
that's been my absolute savior. I'm telling you it. I still see, I have a psychiatrist. Well, I have a psychiatrist I see every 6 weeks, and I have a psychologist I see monthly.
Mhm.
And it helps.
Mhm.
But when I'm having a day where I'm triggered by something,
Mhm.
rather than going to take one of my Xanax to deal with it, I
Mhm.
just get to go to the kickboxing studio. And, there's a motto that, gloves on, world off. And it
Mm.
really does work that way. Like you put those gloves on, and all you're focusing on is the task at hand.
Mm.
And I mean, I can't tell you how many times I visualize that bad being like whatever I'm angry at, and I just
Mm.
beat the shit out of it. And by the end, whatever was bothering me, I go home and it's gone. Like I might think about it, but whatever issue I was having is completely gone.
You know what? See, that's why she's called "Mommy Says Bad Words" too, because she's just wow. She was telling you about her dealing with kickboxing. Like, should I? Who wouldn't want to beat the shit out of something that can't fight back? I'm just saying. Okay, Sue
And
said
it's legal. It's
yes.
legal. You get to beat something that's not a human being. You can picture their face, which I've
Right.
done many times.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if you can push like a little stick on picture and just print it out.
You know what? They would probably let me do that.
Like, go for it. Take it all out. And then by the time you're ready to get in the car and drive off, you're so damn tired. You're like, I shouldn't have did that. Oh my goodness. Okay, listen.
Seriously, it's
She
like
was
by there's 8 rounds. So by like round 3, whatever was bothering me, and then it's just okay, focus on whatever combinations you're doing right now, and then it's just
right.
you're
No.
you're in the zone.
Yeah, I think I'll probably black out. Just give me different options. I'm gonna be pinning up a whole bunch of stuff. Can I put up some words and photos and people? Okay, what's Sue say? Sue says yes, but anyone suffering, do not. Thank you for the caps. Give up. Thought I would never. Thank you for the caps. Need medication for anxiety or depression, but things change in life, etc. Don't give up. Keep trying, and you will. Thank you again for the caps. Feel better. I mean, I love that. And thank you, Sue, for that. Because at the end of the day, and like, like Ash said, don't, if you give up, it's just easier. And then that's when you give up, that's the part when you just feel like you're going into that dark spot. And it's like,
Yep.
it's so hard to get out of that. And definitely, like we were saying, since this is Suicide Awareness Month, that's when it starts spiraling.
Yeah.
Like what in the hell is going on? And it's because you didn't take care of yourself on mentally. But it's not easy. Okay,
No,
it's not easy. And I'm
it's
very
frustrating.
it is,
It
but I'm
keep
glad
it,
you have a tribe though.
mm.
Well, a group. I can't stand the word tribe. Okay, I can't stand the word tribe. I cannot. I cannot. Hi, Operation Jane. Thank you. Welcome. I
Oh,
can't.
that's my other girl. That's one of my group. Hi, honey.
Yes, yes. I follow her too. But yeah, I can't stand the word tribe. I need something
I
else.
don't
I,
know,
I need
blame you.
something else. So we want to figure out a word, but definitely a group of friends and people that want to actually listen and give a fuck about how you feel. So I'm glad that your friends are able to, come and support you. They hear deep. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
appreciate that. And that just shows you how much they really care about you and your wellness. And,
they do. They're absolutely amazing. I tell them this all the time that I'm just unbelievably grateful
yeah.
that I have them, and because I want to kind of switch gears. So
Yeah.
I have a story about suicide prevention.
Yes.
I've actually told this before. I did a live on one of my accounts that's now shut down.
Hmm.
This December will be a year since one of my first cousins committed suicide.
Mm.
Um, the way everything led up, so she was on a lot of medication,
Mm.
and the medication, it was working, but she was also drinking with it, which we all know is a huge no-no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and she had a friend, and she mentioned, that she wanted to harm herself.
Mm.
So the friend called this is in California, called the San Bernardino Police Department,
Hmm.
and they busted in her house SWAT style
Hmm.
and put her in cuffs. And it traumatized her so bad that a couple days later, she committed suicide. So
Mm.
rather than the police, offering to take her somewhere, putting her on a 72-hour hold, doing anything, they
Yeah.
came in and treated her like a criminal. And that was enough to push her over the edge. And she did not pick an easy way to die.
Yeah. Oh
It
wow.
was long, and I'm sure it was excruciating, and it
That's hard.
hurt. Like I cried for I don't know how many months, and it still makes me really upset because I feel like, if I picked up the phone the last time she had called,
Hmm.
maybe I could have said something. And, you know, my aunt and my other cousins, we all kind of have that same guilt. But I do. What kills me is the fact that she was so loved, but
Mm.
she felt like things were hopeless. And
Yeah.
I wish I knew what the why. Like it's still in my mind, why did you feel like that was the only option?
Yeah. Unfortunately, sometimes I think, and this is just me just thinking, because I feel like sometimes I've been in a dark space where I'm just like, I wanted to be in the car and just drive off the road. You're not
All the
really
time. I think
thinking.
that.
You're not really thinking, right? It's more of an impulsive. So the person, like, if it was, and this is me talking, like, I used to be a cop, but when someone is taking a life away and it's the slow painful way, they're not really trying to really do harm. They're trying to see if somebody's going to catch them before they do pass away. But it's hard when you've been that, here you go, PTSD. She's
Yep.
traumatized. And when it's like, okay, when I've taken the medications, I've done a lot of stuff that I need to do. I've talked to a lot of people, and we got to understand too, as mental health people that suffer from mental health, we want to be there for everybody, but we got to be there for ourselves, because it's harder
Right.
already trying to be accountable for ourselves and our own mental health actions. You know, but it's definitely traumatic to hear, that she ended up killing herself just after that incident. It's just, suicide is just hard.
Yeah.
Like, you just black out, and you really don't think about what you're gonna do, or you don't think about anybody else. And I think that's why a lot
No.
of people say, like, suicide is like, you're not really thinking about the family or your loved ones. You're being selfish. Um, because in a way, it's like you're being selfish, but it's like that person, people be tired, and it's like you can't tell someone when they're not going to be tired. They can give you a front face all the time, and you never know what's going on in someone else's house, their mind. It's just really challenging to feel, and now you're about to deal with the anniversary of it, so
Yeah.
that's a lot. So how are y'all doing a visual, or are you going to do, or how are you
Uh,
coping with it?
I don't know. My aunt lives in a different state, and so do my other cousins on that side of the family.
Hmm.
um, she was cremated, so there's no graves, there's no nothing for me to have. I don't. All I did was I have a sweater of hers. I asked my aunt if I could have something of hers. I said I don't care what it is,
Hmm.
but because she and I were close, I just wanted something. So
Yeah.
my aunt mailed me one of her sweaters, and I did not take that thing off. I mean, this is the middle of summer when I ended up getting it. I did not take it off.
Yeah, it allows you to be closer to her.
It's, this, it was just like the smell of it. And I will probably end up just wearing that all day.
Yeah, but you
It
got to
makes
be
me feel
careful.
close to her.
Yeah, but you got to be careful because you don't want to feel that it's putting you back, in your dark spot. So, because then we'll take that burden on as people that are mental health, and then we're feeling like, saddened even more. So, it's okay. Like, my son has a pillow, and he's had the same pillow since I was in the military, and I don't know what made him trigger to have it. And this kid is 18, so it's like, it's great to have that, because they will always remind you of something. But you just got to be careful, because you don't want to put yourself in that mind, in that space, that it's like no
You
one
don't,
else is there,
you
and you
don't want it to consume
fear.
you.
Yeah, so you got to be careful. Let's see what Sue said. All right, Sister says she needed
Yep.
to be monitored. Definitely, definitely that.
Yep.
Being in law enforcement before, it's hard. It's a win and win. Well, win lose, because the individual, if the how can I say it? The individual can be released on their own. They can take them to a doctor's, but then the courts still have to be involved, so they have to get a hold on them, and so then there's more paperwork. So I'm sure they didn't do all the proper things that they needed to do. Hopefully
No.
they needed to, but so she said, I had a friend when they were in NH, which is New Hampshire, who was in the dark period, and I talked to her into going to the hospital and stay with her. That's what you do if you're close enough. It's definitely that. And she
Oh
also
yeah.
goes person to say, a close family member, as in direct fam member, like, walked out the door threatening, and mom called me. I had to make hard decisions to call and get on hold. If I hadn't, maybe he may not have been here, right? And then too, if you're close enough too, but people have to reach out. It's like, when those signs, people that suffer from mental illness, if they're quiet for a long time, you're like, okay, what's going on? I don't hear from you. Are you
And
okay?
I had no, I mean, I, I had no indication.
Hmm.
My aunt said that mixing the alcohol with, the medication she was on played a big part, which I
Hmm.
absolutely agree with.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, we all knew she had issues. She had PTSD. She had she didn't have a great childhood like I did. And
Mhm.
I mean, but it just was like completely caught off guard.
Yeah.
And what makes it worse for me is that she's not the only family member, she's not the only cousin of mine that has killed themselves in the same exact manner and
Mm.
used alcohol to do it.
Yeah. And people didn't, I don't know if people realize that alcohol is a drug. Okay. It's a drug, people.
Yeah.
It's an easy, accessible drug that they sell in a store. It's a
And
drug.
that's what gave both of my cousins I would even want to say courage, but gave them the
Yeah.
strength to carry out what they wanted to. And I always wonder if either one of them wasn't drinking, if it would have happened.
Hmm. Yeah.
But my um my first cousin that committed suicide, this was years ago, she planned everything to the T. She paid off her car.
Wow.
She, signed everything over to my other cousin who was her sister.
Those flags.
She even went as far as to mark on the calendar and it said death day.
Those flags. They say that there are indicators. Because I've been taking some courses. Like, if you ever feel anybody that's here, or when you see it later, um, I go on Ebright. I'm sorry, Eventbrite. Yeah, Eventbrite, and they have a lot of classes that's on there for free. And it's called, one of the classes that I always go to, that it's a company that I always go to, is called Mind Spring. So when y'all get a chance, go to Mind Spring, and they have different types of free. These are free, okay? Because I'm not paying. Uh, it's free. This is free information. And they're like webinars. You don't have to go anywhere. You just click on the link, and you can learn how it's different ones. How you deal with trauma. How do you deal with ADHD? How do you deal with a family member? How do you, it's different training things that are out here, and it's all about getting the resources. But when you said that she paid off her car and started to, sign things over and even indicate a day, those are typically red flags from what I've been learning, that when you start seeing people giving away their prized possessions, that's the problem. It's
And
like, okay.
she did it all in secret. Nobody had any idea. I mean, she was an alcoholic
Hmm.
and I'm gonna get graphic. So anybody that is trigger warning right now, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
Um, she drank like an entire like a half gallon of vodka
Mm.
and she slit both of her wrists.
Hmm.
And when that wasn't working, she slit her own throat.
Mm.
So she really
Wanted to
was
end.
adamant about it. And I actually saw the
Oh no.
the crime scene photos, if you will.
Mm.
Her sister, my cousin showed me, and it's something that's been burned. I mean, this was like a decade and a half ago, but I still picture it,
Yeah, that's
and
traumatizing.
it's awful. I mean, it was horrific. And my other cousin, the one that most recently passed away, she slit her wrist also, but the cause of death was drowning because she was so intoxicated. She ended
Mm.
up drowning and they didn't find her for a few days.
Right. Right. And that's what Sue was just saying too. A major downer when mixed with meds is a horrible
Yeah,
combination. Depression is a tank. It is. Oh, depression is the worst,
I
and
hate it.
it makes, and like when we first started having this conversation, it's like I don't wake up and say, let me have a pot of depression, let me have a pot of anxiety, and let's
Right.
see how we work this out. It's like you have to deal with this every day you wake
Yep.
up, and it's like you don't want to. You feel like you're walking on eggshells. You got to be on tippy toes because you don't want to
Yep.
be triggered, and then you don't want to. You go somewhere and it's like you don't want to be there. It's just so many contributing factors with it, and it's not just one associated with it. But we're going to definitely keep you. You already have that true tribe. You love that word tribe. Like, I can't say child. That's a whole nother story in the comment. But we are here for you. You can always DM us. We always available. And yes, it is hard. And Sue says she's also sorry if you and your family had to go through that. So all we can do is just keep encouraging you and doing our check-ins with you and making sure that you're okay. And also accountability, like just having you have like a whole fantastic group of accountability of women that care, that give a fuck, you know?
Yeah,
So it's nothing like having that, because when you don't have that, you feel alone. And
absolutely.
I'm glad that's why we have this conversation, this open discussion, because again, we don't talk about it as much. We don't
No.
talk about it as much. It's just it's a lot to take on because you feel that you're doing it by yourself when you're not doing it by yourself. But yeah, since doing this magazine, I've looked at take those courses, from Mindspring, and I just look into it because it's nothing. I'm a geek, okay? I'm just like I'll say
So
it.
am I. So
No,
am I.
worldwide. I can't help it. Okay. I learn just to fucking learn, people. I don't know
I
why,
do too.
okay?
I'm a nerd. It's all right.
Whatever. I'll take
Nerds stick together.
yes, hey. I'll take
Nerd,
it.
nerd crew.
Hey. But honestly though, when you sit here and you take like just a baby step into wanting to do more and learn more, then I feel like you get more, you get comfortable and understanding, like, okay, I'm not going to go here, but here we're going to go. We're going to switch it up since we're doing open, pretty much open discussion, open mic of mental illness. The word no, people, it exists. So, you
I'm so
know,
bad with that.
no, you have to learn how to say no. I've learned it and I love it. I
I
told you
have yet
before.
to learn that lesson. I am very much a people pleaser,
Stop it.
and I know I put myself in situations that I don't want to be in because I feel so fucking guilty about it.
That's the
And
problem.
I know, I know, I know
Ah,
the girls get on me about that sometimes, and I'm just like, I do things out of obligation, even as far as
no.
like my social media accounts.
Yes.
Man, I don't even want them most of the time, but I was
Hmm.
talking about this. I feel obligated.
No,
And a
you
big,
owe no one shit. Stop it.
I know, but I feel like I've created a little safe space for certain topics. And I feel like if I just disappear, those people don't have anything.
They do.
I
They
know, but I
really
feel
do.
like I just, that's
You
like
can't.
complete obligation.
No.
I know, I
It
gotta
took me.
stop.
It took me so long to be like, I don't fucking care.
I I say
Hey,
that
I need
about some
this.
stuff,
No,
but
you can't be mommies have bad words too and then be soft. Be like, yeah, girl, I'll do it. No.
I know I say
Stop
bad
it.
words, but I'm really a big softie. It's
Oh
awful.
no, no. When you start learning that word, no, hey, I'm having an event. Do you want to come? No. I'm not even going to think about it. No.
Oh, I just make up excuses.
No.
I'm just
See, but then you're giving
exhausted.
them like a fake false narrative that your ass is coming. No.
I
I told
blame
you.
I use my husband as a scapegoat for a
Yes, you know, mine's to be like, no, let's go. And I'm like, I don't fucking want to go. You know, like,
No,
yeah,
I
you gotta
totally
learn how to
use
let
my
go.
husband as an excuse. I'm just like, my husband said no, or he's busy, or something like that. So like, well, you can come, and I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, but it's
See?
a day off, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll just go for a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-mm. No. Nah. No. I told you how I had a family member. She was like, hey, I need to have some of this. And I'm sitting here like I'm working here. I am working on myself, working on the word no. And I was like, when do you need it? And she was like, this day, which was the next day. And I was like, nah, can't do that. I can't do it.
I would feel,
It's
see, I feel
hard.
so fucking guilty.
Yeah, no,
There
no.
are very few people that can guilt trip me, and my parents are one of them. So
Yeah.
I
Well, I
end
mean,
up
parents. I mean, I'm a,
like like right now, I'm in my mom's office. I'm watching my dad for the weekend because my mom took my little one to go see one of my brothers and my nephews. I
mhm.
didn't want to be here all weekend, but I couldn't say no because I was like, well, she watches little one when I have to go to the doctor, so I'm
Right.
obligated. But I
That's
tell
a
my
different
husband,
type
I'm
of
like,
obligation.
well, it's like my husband's home from the weekend. I'm a half an hour away from him. I don't get to spend time. And, I'm kind of stuck in the house. And I really wanted to say no, but I felt so fucking guilty. I was like,
Yeah. No,
sure, sure, mom.
they get a pass. They get a
I,
pass. I mean, it's not
I
like she's asking you
know.
often. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
this is not the first, second, third, fifth, or 10th time I've had to do this. So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, you got to look at it. It's weigh your options. Okay, I live with my husband. He's there all the time. He's not here this weekend. He's off this weekend. You just got to learn how to just balance. That's what
I
it's all about.
know.
It's all about
I'm
balance.
horrible at balance and I'm
Yeah.
horrible at saying no. I'm
Yeah.
awful.
No, just say no. Say no like 4 times for us, Ashley.
No, 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 motherfucking no.
Yes.
Even threw a motherfucker in there for
Yes.
you. No.
Yes. God damn it. Yes. And you're going to appreciate that later. You'll be like, wait a minute. During the podcast, I said no. And then everything becomes no. And someone's going to ask you something that
No.
means a yes. And you'll be like, no. Don't blame me, though.
The only one I can never say no to is my little one. Her, even if I don't want to do something, she gets a pass. She gets what? No. Mom,
Yeah.
you want to play this game? In my mind, I'm going, no. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
of course, honey, of course.
Oh, God. No. I'm
She
like,
gets a
no.
pass.
No. No one, everyone catches it. I'm not. No. You want to watch this? Not right now. But you
I've
know,
said that. Usually I'm like, sure, babe, let's okay, we're good. Let's go
yeah.
do
Oh, you got that's I think, especially having mental illness, that too
it.
with the people pleasing, that shit eats you. It eats you
It
because you
does.
feel like you're trying to please everybody, but then shit, who gonna
Yep.
take care of you, Ash? What about yourself?
I, I
Right.
I've gotten better at taking care of me mentally. I've actually gotten a lot better taking care of me mentally, and I've been able to. I was never really able to identify my triggers.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that like certain conversations would, but and then I realized that certain people create it, certain places,
Mm-hmm.
it I learned my triggers and it took me a really long time to do that. And now
Mm-hmm.
that I know what they are, I find it easier to step back so that I'm not constantly trigger, 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 trigger,
Mm-hmm.
trigger, trigger. Because there were days, weeks, months where I was purposely, and I don't know, I'm hoping that my new psychologist can figure this out. I
Mm-hmm.
self punish a lot.
Mm. Okay, so tell us.
Like,
You got to say what self punish is. You can't be like I self
okay.
punish. What is that? What is that? Time
So
out? Like what?
I will do things that I know it are going to make me upset,
Mm.
um, or irritated or angry. But for some reason, I have these days where I feel like I have to punish myself, but I don't know what for. And this is
Mm,
something I've been working on for a couple of years with different my old psychologist and now my new one.
mhm.
I haven't identified what makes me do that,
Yeah.
but I don't do it as much as I used to because I can kind of talk myself out of it. But I do have days where I will do, or I will look at things, see things, engage, do things that will trigger me that I know are going to trigger me. And I
Mm-mm.
do it anyway
Oh yeah,
because
that's punishment.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
because I feel like for some reason, like I deserve that pain, that anxiety, that depression. So I forced myself to be in an uncomfortable situation
Mm.
because I had no idea why. For
Yeah,
whatever reason, I feel like, okay, Ashley needs to get slapped across the face today.
I gotta get cussed out. I gotta say, her somebody tell me shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's hard. You know.
And it's awful. I mean, and I can be incredibly self-destructive. I mean, I've perfected self-destruction over the years.
You gotta work on that. Look, Sue's not. You're not alone.
I
Sue's.
know. She does the same thing. Sue's probably one of the sweetest individuals I've ever met in my entire life.
Mm,
And
yeah,
just like me with the people pleasing. And
you gotta be. Look, well, I'm too, but I'm learning now. But
I
I
need to
bet you
learn
guys
that.
have each other to be accountable for. She could be accountable for you to be like, why are you punishing yourself? And you could say the same thing to her.
Oh,
Again,
they talk me off the ledge so much.
yeah, and that's good. Active
I know.
listening, people. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, it's like that people pleaser shit would get you. It's a lot. It's a mental. It's You feel like you obligated. You don't want to say no, and then you put yourself in a mental bind. Like, well, I
Yep.
said I was going to go, and then that Tuesday come. Because I know with me, you can sit here and be like, "Hey, April, I need to have this, then the other." And I'm like, okay, when do you need to have it? And it's like Wednesday, and today's Monday. And so I'm like, okay, I can do it. And then here comes Tuesday, and then it's like, oh shit, I got something I gotta do Wednesday. And then Wednesday come, my anxiety is just like so sky high. Don't know why,
Oh
but it's
no.
like, oh shit, I gotta do this. And it's like it puts me in a sunken spot, and like I don't want to do it. Like I should have just said no. And now I'm like sad and don't know why you sad. So maybe I do the same thing too. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And then Tuesday come, then Wednesday come, and it's like, damn. So what I've started to do, like with I know with my neighbors, I pick and choose what I want to go to. They can have an event every day, every weekend, whatever it may be. But it's all about boundaries.
I know. I'm horrible. I have to say, I am really, and I've always been this way. I'm really bad at boundaries.
Learn them,
I
learn them and live
th-
by
well, this is how bad I am with boundaries.
them.
So
Okay.
when I graduated with I have a bachelor's in psychology and marriage and family therapy.
Ow.
And I got into the marriage and family therapy grads program when I
Mm-hmm.
was living in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And I accepted, I was gonna go, and then I realized like I was one of my professors was or is still a marriage and family therapist, and we were talking, and she's like, one thing you really need to work on is boundaries. She goes, you can't take that stuff home. And the more I thought about it, I realized that I don't have the, as much as I
Yes,
want to
you
help
do.
people,
You do have it.
I will take that home with me. And I don't want to do that. So that's when I switched it to criminal justice because I was like, well, I can still help people in a different capacity.
You still taking
And
it home. That's law enforcement. Remember
well,
I
I
told
was
you.
supposed to, before I got sick, I was going to work in the intelligence community. So I was going to be behind the scenes. I wasn't going to deal with people because I knew if I became like a detective or something,
Oh my God.
every case I would bring home. So it's like
Yes.
I couldn't be a therapist because I don't have those boundaries. Like I'm too much of a mama bear. and I could never be like a detective. Same thing. I'm like a mama bear. I can't do
Yeah,
it. Like
I told you I was a cop. It's the same thing. Like
I
you're
couldn't do
taking,
it.
you taking, you ha- those those jobs are so high strung. They're high strung
I
jobs,
know.
and especially when you're dealing with those because you're people pleasers, and you're people
Yeah.
pleasing as soon as you get on shift and as soon as you get off, and then you go home and then you got to people please to your family. It's a whole
I don't know
different
how you did it. I don't know.
I
I
did
had
it for
all
10
those.
years. I don't know why I did it either. I wasn't
I don't
active
even know
duty.
how you did it. Like I give you the most respect for doing that because
Oh,
I just I can't do like if I see a little kid hurt, my first instinct is okay, baby, come home with me and I'll take care of you.
and little
And
kid
you
got a gun.
can't do right, and you can't do that. It's like
No,
oh
I don't. I did this for 7 years active duty. I came out and I did it as federal for 3 years, and then it's not. First of all, it's not family oriented, and so every time I still it's this show. I don't know if you guys watch it, but I'm like they had live PD, but then they took it off, and now it's back
yes,
on. It's OP
yeah,
Live. Y'all know that, right? Okay, so it comes
yeah,
on
on
real.
patrol, right?
Yes, one patrol. Look at that. We all messy. Yeah.
I
Okay.
saw a commercial for it the other day and I was like, wait a minute. I thought that show was
Thursday.
off the air.
So he just came back on Reels. There's a whole. I had to GM you about the shenanigans about it, but because they were talking about A&E is going through some issues because they wanted to sue because they had live PD first, and
Yeah,
then
I remember that.
Reels came over. So it's a whole bunch of mess. That's how they deal with the reality TV stuff. But
Oh
so OP
God.
comes on live, and that was like my jam. I was on Twitter like, man, I was like on like these people are, and all it does is just trigger me. I don't know why, because I have my oldest son now watching with me, and I'm just like, this is why I don't miss doing this job.
I
This
couldn't
is
do
why.
it. I
This
couldn't
is
do it.
why I don't miss it. I don't feel like chasing you. Okay. I don't feel like doing the paperwork. If you just, it's a lot to it. It's very stressful. And then you taking that backpack and taking it home. And I
Yeah.
used to drink like a whole pint of Moscato when I was doing it. So it was like, where else is there's no outlet, So I kudos to the law enforcement family and my law enforcement family. Cause I still have some friends that do it, but I'll watch it on TV all day. Shit. I,
I do that with true crime. Like I am Sue would tell you, yeah, true crime. We are all about in our little group, we are all about true crime. But
mm,
like I can listen to the absolutely most horrific cases you can
no,
imagine.
no.
And like it makes me want to cry, but I don't take it home with me, which I'm extremely surprised about because like a year or two ago, if I watched that, if there was a particularly horrific case, that would like traumatize me for days. Now I can listen to it and I learn and I can separate myself
Mm.
and say, okay, I have empathy and sympathy, and this is disgusting and this is horrible, but it doesn't ruin my whole day.
Well, that's good. At least you found some therapeutic in it because I used to watch when I was doing law enforcement, 48 hours on A&E.
Yes, I remember that. I used to watch
Oh
48
my
Hours.
gosh. I used to be like, oh my gosh. And they would show the graphics and everything. And then I had to be like, now I don't even want to watch it. Like, it's just like, my mental capacity for that is just not there. It's like, that's again, that's that mental health stuff. Like law enforcement is, that's what I'm saying again too. With you wanting to go and be, an investigator in the back, even if you're in the front and the back, it don't matter. It's in your mind. It's
Yeah,
intelligence. It's always going. It's always moving. It never stops. So it's like, well, what job doesn't ever stop? You're a nurse. You take it home. You lose
I
somebody,
couldn't
a
do
patient, a
I couldn't
doctor,
do that.
especially today is physicians awareness, suicide awareness day. So check on your doctors because they not safe either. Just like I was saying, some of these people
Mm-mm.
turn to doctors and therapists because they've had someone in their family that were dealing with issues or they lacked health care. So check on your physician because today is Physician Suicide Awareness Day. Like y'all gotta check on them too. So it's like it's these high power jobs, these lawyer jobs. That's why they always at the bar, because it's a lot to take. It's a lot to take in, and I think definitely during the pandemic, a lot of jobs have became more to take in. When you're at the grocery store, I'm sure it's more to take in because you're dealing with people that's been in the house, probably still not getting all the needs that they need for their family, and they taking it out on you. So it's like, where do you go at the end of the day? Where can we decide to say, okay, look, where's a safe space? And that's why we have this. We have this
The,
podcast.
the pandemic fucked me up mentally so bad. I I'm immune compromised and I take chemotherapy twice a day. I've been taking it for 6 years.
Hmm.
And when COVID hit and when it was at the peak here in North Carolina, I literally was not allowed out. Like I could go to the pharmacy drive through, had to wear a mask. I could go to the Starbucks drive through and wear a mask. And I went to my nail salon because she knew I was immune compromised. So she took like 8,000 million precautions and I felt safe. I
Hmm.
was, and the doctor, but I was only allowed to go to the doctor if I had to be physically examined or if I needed a blood draw or something like that. I
Hmm.
was stuck in the house for 2 years.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Yeah.
couldn't, like, I wasn't, it was so triggering. And my psychiatrist, we met more often because she knew how much I was struggling. And she tried to get me like, okay, well, why don't you go outside, take the dogs for a walk, go for a walk
Hmm.
with your husband, go to the park with your daughter. And it's like, I'm too scared to do anything. And it traumatized me because I mean, my doctor straight up told me this was before the vaccine. If you get
Hmm.
COVID, you're going to die.
Mm.
So my husband was working. He had to have extra precautions. You know, my daughter was homeschooled for a while when it was really bad, the schools closed.
Hmm.
And then it was just like this culmination of everything. And it fucked with my head so bad.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was really, really, really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you already have your own mental, everything is more heightened. Like Sue says, I worked in a high stress job and ended up with fibroid. Like
Yep.
it it's like, okay, see, that's why we're going to have a different conversation because y'all going into my magazine for next month. I'm not liking this to Ashley. This is ridiculous. You guys must y'all in my
Oh.
emails. But no, seriously though, it's a combination because when you're thinking of mental health, you still got to deal with your health care. So it's like
And then
it's
they affect each other. Yep.
they do. They
hmm
do. It's so much with mental health. Like, you
Yeah.
know, trying to deal with your wellness of it all. It's a lot to take on as an individual. So you can't do it by yourself. So people
No.
find
And
that
I
one
felt
friend.
so alone. This was before I found my little family, my chosen family.
I
I
love that.
felt so
Right.
isolated and so alone.
Right.
And my only outlet was my meme account. That's the reason why when COVID really started, that's when I made my meme account because I was like, okay, well, I need something to distract me and people need to laugh because it's a really fucked up time right now.
Yes. That's why I
That's
started blogging.
that's why I started doing that. It was just like, let's, make somebody laugh. They're having a hard day. Everybody's scared. So let's, make fun of the cast members that are just atrocious from 90 Day Fiance and
Ice
let's
roll.
go be a snarky bitch and make people laugh. And
So
here I
look,
am.
question. So after, do you feel, and anybody else in the comments or watching, do you feel that with us having mental health or issues that we're more compassionate than people that may not know they have mental health issues, or
I think
um
so. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously it depends on the type of mental illness. So, if you've got, um, antisocial personality disorder, clearly you
Yeah.
don't have that. But if you have, I don't want to, I guess the term run of the mill, if you've got anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD,
Mm-hmm.
more common disorders, I do
Hmm.
feel like we can empathize and sympathize more
Yeah.
because we've struggled so much. Yep.
Mm.
See, just like, yep, Jane
Yeah.
said, we are more empathetic because we
Yeah.
understand it and we
Hmm.
know what people are going through. And you don't want somebody to struggle like you struggled. Like even my worst enemy,
Hell no.
I don't wish trauma on anybody.
Hell no. It's a pain in the ass. And don't
It
nobody like to take medicine every damn day. I'm
No,
tired of
and
taking medicine. It gets like that.
oh,
Shit. But then
me
you gotta make
too.
sure you take care of yourself. It's like, here I go with taking this pill. And it's like, well,
I know.
if I don't take a pill, then I know if I don't take it for days, oh my gosh. And when you don't take it for days, it's feel like you're going through withdrawal. So it's like you
Oh
gotta
yeah,
take it. That's the
I know.
worst ever. It's so much people don't understand that you have to deal with when you're dealing with mental illness and mental health because it's a lot of responsibility. So it's
Yeah.
like you're responsible for your mental health, your health care, your family, your job,
And I
the
think I
people
think
of
that's why a lot of people don't really take care of their mental health because they feel like that they don't have time to take care of themselves.
smart.
Which is, I mean, and especially, and I don't mean to exclude people that don't have kids, but especially as a parent, like you're busy raising a human being to
Hmm.
be, a productive member of society, hopefully.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
you've got, if you have a spouse, you have them to take care of, you've got a home to maintain. If you have a job, you've got a job to maintain.
Hmm.
If you've got a hobby or like if you're blogging like you are,
Hmm.
it's hard to carve out that time for yourself. But at the end of the day, if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anybody else.
Mm-mm, not at
And
all.
it took me a long time to learn that, a really long time.
I'm still learning. It's every day is a new. It's like something new. Like today is the day my mom and I reschedule our pedicures. We go every 2 weeks, and we haven't been in a month because she felt like she was sick and Corey had COVID. So we rescheduled. We went today, and I was like, I got a podcast at 1 o'clock. So it's like normally we have our own little thing that we go, do this and we take our time. I was like, no, I need a chair. It's like here goes anxiety. I need a chair. I need to be home by 1 o'clock. I need to be online. And then we had our own little technical difficulties. So it's like,
I
thank
know.
God too. I did take my meds today because yes, I am tired of them, just like you are.
I know. I have to tell you if and I have posted my pile of pills before just to be this was like months ago. Like this is how much shit I have to take a day because
Yeah,
I'm on like
to deal with your shit.
20 I'm on like 20 something meds and it's like
Wow.
if I could not take those, man, I mean, I've been accused of faking my illnesses. So
My
I'm like,
goodness.
I told the girls, I said, you know what? One day we need to sit down. We need to go through my list of disorders that I have, and we need to figure out which ones I have faked so I can
Mhm.
go ahead and look down my medication list and go, aha, I don't have to take that shit because I invented it in my head.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
I wish it worked that way. I wish I could go through and be like, nope, I'm not going to have this one. No, I made this one up.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
save me so much money at the pharmacy.
Yeah. Well, shit, they don't understand that.
Uh-uh.
It's not pain
Nope.
free. Yes, pedicure sounds amazing. Yes. 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 I'm actually married, Sue. So it's no single life. But my kids are older. So, I'm like, y'all stay here.
Sue's got single mom life.
Yeah.
Susan knows she can drop her son off at my house. I'll babysit him, and she can go get a pedicure. Except
Yes.
we don't live in the same state, so it's a little
Uh,
harder to drive.
virtually babysat. We need
I
to try
know.
that. Hey,
Most
look.
of We're lucky enough that we're kind of all in the same vicinity, but we're not all in the same state.
Yeah.
Like I'm next to two of the girls in neighboring states, and
Hmm.
then Sue's a little farther away, but we're close enough to where we could all meet up and converge. And
Mm-hmm. No,
Go
I
get a
feel that.
pedicure, Susan. We can do pedicures. I hate having my feet touched, but I will do a pedicure for you.
Oh, it's different, okay?
I
Because
don't do feet. I hate feet.
I hate
Mm-mm.
feet too. Maybe that's a mental health thing. Ah.
I don't know. I just, right? At least we're on the same coast now. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Well, at least y'all on that. I'm on the East Coast, so.
We're all East Coast
Oh,
now.
okay. Well, hey, East
I
Coast
know.
ladies.
Born and raised
Ooh,
East Coast.
yes. Okay, wait a minute. I have to get Dr. Simmons do medically necessary to get it covered. What the hell? Are you what?
Insurance is fun when you're trying to deal with mental health and shit.
Oh, hell no.
Oh
No,
no.
it's the worst. It's the worst, especially like because I have family members that have to take medicine, and it's nothing worse than the copay. But then it's like when I
Oh
look
my
at how much the
God.
fucking medicine was, $230. I'll have to eat the copay.
I
God,
know. Every
a lot.
every year at the beginning of the year, my husband has great health insurance, but we have a high individual deductible.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the beginning of every year, at the end of the year, I hoard as much medicine as I can, whether I need a
Oh
refill or not, I hoard it. Because in the beginning of the year, just I take Rexulti, that's my main one for my PTSD.
yeah. Mhm.
That alone, without insurance, is like $700.
Oh my.
So I thank God for GoodRx, but
Yeah.
it's still almost $100. So I have to shell that out. And when I don't take that, oh my God, my PTSD is
Mhm.
nuts.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's awful. But
Mhm.
that's what I mean. Could you not make our drugs more affordable? Like, why do I have to pay $20 for a copay? Why do you want $1,000, you know, out of pocket? What
Mhm.
do you want people I feel like the industry doesn't want people to get better. I feel like the pharmaceutical, they want us all to be fucked up and sick because they make money off of it. Because
It's
like what
definitely.
can't you make it cheaper? Can't you make it more accessible? Like, come on.
Yeah, for sure. Just like Operation Change, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
it's hard, and then um, trying to make sure that your family is still fed while doing the medication takes a
Oh,
toll on you with your mental illness. Because if your medicine
absolutely.
is $100, it's like, so what do I do? Do I feed my family or do I take care of myself?
I've been there. I mean, this was years ago, but I was there where it was like, do you pay your meds or do you buy groceries? And it's obviously groceries.
Yes, Operation Jane. They don't see. That's what I think. I'm glad you said that because
Oh, it's true.
it that is 100% true, and everything in society is pretty much like a money grab, and I think that's
Yep.
why again a lot of people don't tend to talk about mental health because then they feel like as soon as a lot of people start talking about mental health, then here's an open market to get more medications out
Yep.
here to market people that are going through mental health, and it's like, well, first of all, let me tell you, when I was in the military, you ain't have a choice. Okay, we was like, you get stuck with whatever they give you. Okay, I've had the smallpox shot. I've had the anthrax shot. I mean, you get all these. So it's like you feel like you're a test dummy.
Yeah.
And so I understand what Operation Jane is saying. It's not a cure. Medicine is not a cure. It's to
Nope.
help sustain. It's the sustainability drug.
It's
That's
a
what it is.
band-aid.
Yes, you have to still play your part, like we were saying, as far as like people pleasers. You got to learn how to be like no, and then when you like no, the medication, then it's like okay, well, I've learned something new today. You know what I mean? So medication is just there to help a little bit to keep you a little bit balanced. But yes,
Yep.
hell yeah, they out here to just get money. That's why I don't think, honestly, I think that's why it's not outspoken as much, is because they don't want to. It's just like with the what we doing with the vaccines. So that's a whole nother conversation. But it's just becomes like a marketable thing at the end of the
Hmm.
day.
Yep. Though.
Unfortunately, because it still goes on with your mental health. It's like, well, damn, do I get the booster? Do I not get the booster? And then tomorrow it's like, there's four more available boosters for the booster that you just boosted. And it's like, well, what the? Your mental health is just like, I'm everywhere. Your anxiety is like everywhere because it's like, well, when do I need to stop getting the goddamn shots? So it's like at the end of the day, yes,
I
you're
know.
so right. You're so right too. Big pharma, baby.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it's just going to be like that. Everything is just money driven, and it's
I,
that's society.
I feel like some people, actually not even some, I feel like a lot of people, especially, in the economic climate that we're in, which I'm not going to, I'm not going to get political with that, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't have the resources or the time to do something to help their mental health. Like I have my kickboxing. I'm thankful enough that I can afford to do that.
Yeah.
But like my next door neighbor, I took her with me to, they had a couple of free classes and she really liked it. And it helped her mental health because she's really depressed and it got her out and she got to meet people and she and I got to have girl time,
Mm-hmm.
but she wasn't able to sign up because she couldn't afford it. And I
Mm-hmm.
haven't really seen her because she's just been stuck in the house and depressed. And I feel like I felt horrible. I was telling my husband, I was like, can I just pay for her every month so she can go? And he's like, you cannot help
Yeah.
everybody. And I'm like,
Yes.
but I
People
want to
pleaser. No.
try. I know.
Hey, share the magazine. That uplift her. The beautiful
I know.
colors.
Oh, I should do that to her.
Just
But
share the
I feel like people don't have, like, if you're against medicine, which I know a lot of people are,
magazine.
there's alternatives. But I feel like a lot of people can't afford the alternatives. Like they can't
They
afford to go to yoga or the gym
no,
or go get acupuncture or
no.
go,
Mm-mm.
whatever, get yourself cleansed with crystals, whatever the fuck you want to do. They don't have the resource. I've seen it. Look, if shoving a crystal up
Okay.
your ass helps your
Oh,
mental health, shove crystals up your ass. Like
hey, to each his
I don't
own.
judge. I
Me
don't
either.
judge.
We are
Do
just
what you got to do.
safe zone, safe zone, safe zone.
But
Yeah.
I feel like the alternatives that they're not affordable for
Mhm.
everybody. So you've
Mhm.
got medication that you either hasn't worked, you can't afford it, you don't want it, and
Mhm.
then your alternatives that could substitute, they're not accessible to you. So it's like,
Mhm.
well, what the hell do you do if you don't have any medication to help with your chemical imbalance and you don't have an outlet to help with your stress? You're gonna fucking implode.
Mhm.
It's just
You
gonna
are.
you're gonna explode. It's just
And
I
that's when
feel
the
so
suicide
horrible.
part comes in, though. That's when, because it's so much to it. It's like, I can't afford the medication. What am I supposed to eat today? I can't get a job. Society itself just fucks up your mental health. Okay.
It does.
You gotta find that. It's the B word. It's not bad bitch, it's balance. It's like, you gotta find that balance, and it's so challenging to find the balance when you're dealing with anxiety. And it's like, well, I'm supposed to be here, but then I have to be here. Like tonight, I'm supposed to be somewhere at 6 o'clock. And it's like, well, do I still want to go? It's just, and it's only fucking 2:28. So it's a lot to it that
I
we
get like
deal
that.
with. It's like,
Okay.
okay, I'm ready to go, and it's like, oh girl, I'm just not in the mood. I need to, and it's not an excuse. It's like sometimes you just feel like go back to people pleasing. I didn't say I was perfect with the people pleasing, saying no, but it just goes back to people pleasing. At the end of the day, like she wants to go. Your neighbor wants to go and do kickboxing, and it's like you are you're funny too. She wants to go kickboxing, and um, at the end of the day, she
Oh,
can't afford
Lizzo.
it. Right. I was like, she funny, yeah. Hey, no copyrights over here. Okay, I don't need it. She just got herself an Emmy. Congratulations to her. But
Did she?
she did. She got an Emmy for her
Good.
reality TV show. Watch out for
I
the big
love
girl. I
Lizzo.
watched it. It was really good. It was
I
really good.
love her. She's
I love
awesome.
her because she empowers people to be themselves. That's
And
why
she
I
don't give a fuck. That girl
at
will,
all don't
she
care.
loves herself. She feels herself. I love Lizzo. I mean, that that's my girl. Her and Cardi B, those are my girls, man.
Oh yeah,
Cardi don't give a fuck either.
I
Cardi's
love
like,
that.
this is who I am. I don't give a fuck. You can deal with
Yeah, take it, either leave it. But no, but with the pharmacy thing, yes. And so let me see what Sue says. Sue says military, you had things forced into you, yes, that you don't want it all the time. It's like the flu shot. Okay, I don't want the flu shot. They don't give a fuck. You still getting the flu shot. My ex was military. God bless. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, um, you're just that test guinea pig at the end of the day. Unfortunately to say it, but
I feel like we're all guinea pigs when it comes to any medication because it's like,
yeah,
is it gonna work? Is it
yeah,
not? Is it gonna give you really fucked up side effects? Is it not? I feel like it's
yeah,
all like we're all little like science experiments. Like we're the little rats in the cage and like, all right, well, let's see if,
yeah,
what this medication does to you. And it's
yeah. And at the end of the day, it's again, it takes us wholly in mental health because you're like, well, I'm on booster shot number 5, and it's like, are y'all coming out with 6? And it's like, well, goddamn, how many do I need to take? Because then my anxiety starts kicking in because it's like, well, do I need to take it? Do I need not to take it? Because if not, I need to get my kids in line. I gotta get my husband in line. It's not just you got to worry about. It's
I
everybody
know it's
else. So
everybody.
it's just a lot to deal with, and nah, I don't know. We can't save the world, but we can just help one another. How about that? I like that. Can't save the world, but you can just help one another.
If I help one person, my home, then my mission is complete. That's the way I look at it. If one person feels comfortable,
Hmm.
and feels like they have somebody they can confide in,
Hmm.
and I've done my job.
That's it. And
That's
you're
it.
learning. And you know why? Because you're learning to say no. Okay, ladies, we need her to say no 4 more times before we get off. Okay, you ready? Y'all ready? I gotta see y'all in the comments say y'all ready. Let me see y'all say y'all ready. Let's see. Let's see. They just announced another booster going to be. Yeah, yeah. My mom just had gotten hers, and
Yeah, and I'll be getting that booster because I don't want COVID. You guys know I got COVID like 2 weeks ago. I know
yes.
I'm,
Okay,
but
no, ready. Okay, okay. Wait a minute, Sue. Come on, Sue. We need to get her these 4 no's. Come on, we gotta get her. Come on, y'all, in these comments. We need to get her to say no, no, no. We gotta keep her accountable.
let me do my
Come on,
stretching.
yes, get this, yes,
Let me stretch. Let me warm up my vocal
yes.
cords.
Warm it up.
Me.
Yes. Okay, Sue says she's ready. Okay. All right, we're gonna count down. 3, 2, 1.
Hell no.
Ow!
Fuck no.
Ow!
Oh, hell no.
Ow!
And motherfucking no.
Yes! We did it! No! Oh my gosh, you're gonna learn how to say that. We're gonna have to start learning how to be in
I
Filipino.
know. And I
Like,
know the girls will sit there and be like, do you remember what you learned from
yes!
April? They're like, yes, I
No!
know.
Yes! Yes! No, they agree with us. No! Yes, she
No
put some
to the
sass on
motherfucking.
it too. Yes, she put the sass on there. No to the motherfucking no. Oh my
I
goodness.
love my girls. My God.
Oh, I
I
love
love
having
you.
you on here. This is so
They're
amazing.
awesome.
You are too. This is so therapeutic. I feel like we need to have
It
our
really
own
is.
like once a month podcast open discussion, which we probably should do.
Girl, I
On
will be. I'm 100% on board with that.
yeah, what you ladies think? I think that would be cool. I think that would be a good thing. We have once a month on the schedule and we'll have an open discussion about mental health. So everybody can at least know it's going to be coming up when more people will be acceptable to joining and asking questions.
I'm
Um,
totally good with
you
that.
know, yeah, we love you too. The accountability is yes, accountability. Yes, y'all know how to
Yeah,
slide in her DMs and get her number. We all know how to get in contact with Ashley.
yeah, you guys all have my number. You've all got my social media. I don't
Yes, all
know.
that. Yes. Oh, thank you so much.
It
I
is a
appreciate it.
April does a great, you do a great job at the magazine. I know I told you that before, but
Yes,
I'm really proud of you for it.
thank you. And that's why the other thing too, when we was talking about money, you know, I didn't want to charge. I don't want to charge people because it's already the resource is already expensive.
Yeah.
Like we were saying about the drugs. So it's like, why would you want to, charge people to get the magazine when
Mm-mm.
it's already resources out here that cost that they need to have? So
No,
I,
you do the right thing by
no,
making it free. And I love that you have different people you do interviews and lives with different people that have, different experiences. And
Yes.
I love that because it's not just one person's perspective, it's a whole bunch of different diverse people. And that's what
Mhm.
we need is I think that there needs to be more diversity when we talk about mental health
Mhm.
because it affects everybody. There's no color, there's no religion, there's no
Mhm.
race, there's no nothing. Mental health doesn't give a fuck if you're
At
a purple
all.
alien. They don't care. You could be a purple alien and they're like, we're gonna go ahead and give you OCD. Like it doesn't care.
Hell no. Hell
It
no.
doesn't. And
Hell
we,
no.
we we need that diversity. We need people
Yeah.
from different backgrounds to be
Mhm.
able to hear them and go, okay, well, here's somebody that I can relate to for whatever reason. It could be, they might be the same religion, the same race, whatever it is. If you can identify with somebody, that's
Mhm.
that's the whole goal. And by having different people and creating that diversity, you're
Mhm.
opening the audience up to to learn and help themselves more by doing it.
Yeah, of course. Like at the end of the day, like you said, as long as I was able to touch one person, and I had that conversation last night with on my podcast with Zane. He said the same thing. As long as I'm able to touch one person, and it's
That's it.
different, lot, different attributes to it. Like this month's magazine. Like I don't like the fucking dentist. Okay, so when I got the dentist in there. People anxiety goes 100 when you say dentist. You hear drill, shit. The movie Nemo, the little girl was getting her damn teeth done. She didn't even want to be in there. So like, what do you think? Whoop,
she
my
just
grown
wanted
ass,
the she
the
just wanted the
fish.
fishy. That's
Right.
it.
Like, but at the end of the day, he went into detail to say how he makes his customers comfortable, and it's all about making people comfortable. And I,
Hmm.
I think if you make people comfortable and not make it about money, because some people are out here doing it
Yeah,
because of money,
yep.
then I mean, I went to a dentist. I mean, we're gonna get ready to close out, but I went to a dentist and she was like, "Oh my gosh, how are you able to chew?" And I'm like, "Bitch." I'm in here to get work done. I don't need you to be judging me and shit. What you? I was like, switch. I need to find somebody else. That's the person telling me, hey, look, you're not really here to benefit me. You're here to find, to get dollars. So that's why I was like, well, I appreciate when I was able to do the part with the gentleman with health and with the dental because some people, first of all, dental insurance and dental is fucking expensive.
Yeah,
Okay,
it is. Yep.
so it's like, not only am I paying out the wazoo for it, but I'm uncomfortable paying it because I don't even want you touching my damn mouth.
I
So it's
fall
like,
asleep at the dentist. I'm so comfortable after all the years of
hey,
I fall asleep. I put my AirPods in and I'm just like, do what you got to do, and I'm done. I don't give a shit anymore.
yeah, yeah. I'm getting to learn that, but I'm like, part of it too is like a cycle, right? When you're growing up. So it's like I'm trying to break that cycle with my kids and like, hey, look, we're gonna get you cleanings. You go and do this.
Yeah.
So we can look, you and I can talk all damn day. So that's why we're gonna have to do this once a month. And maybe on the 17th or every third, what is this, the third Saturday or second Saturday? I think it's third Saturday.
Second, third. I
Second,
don't fucking know.
third. I
My
just checked the
brain,
booking calendar. It's third. So every third Saturday we can do this. I like it. An hour and a
whatever
half.
schedule
We can
works for
talk
me.
and plan it because you can talk all fucking day and about mental health, especially that we're dealing. First of all, we about to deal with the anniversary of your family member, and then now we're
Yeah.
about to go into fucking Christmas. Well, excuse me,
Oh,
forgive me, Christ.
holidays
Forgive me,
give
Christ.
me so much
Oh my
anxiety.
god.
Oh my God. I hate the holidays.
Oh my gosh, Christ!
Hate
But I gotta make sure Christ hears me. Forgive me for saying crying. But Christmas is coming. Thanksgiving is coming. Yes, the
that.
holiday
Oh,
season it brings out that anxiety. So I did a podcast
yes.
in August that I'm going to drop with a girlfriend of mine, and she talks about financial responsibility, and I'm like that right there. When you start talking about money and then you like mental it's a whole different thing. I'm like, you robbing from Peter to pay Paul, child. She ain't got no damn bills. Okay, so I'm
I'm
gonna have to, yes, ma'am.
And that's
Yes,
something too, mental health and finances. That's
yes.
something nobody ever talks
Oh
about.
no, I have my podcast for that one. I haven't dropped it
Thank
yet. I'm waiting
God.
until the holiday season to drop it because it takes a fucking toll with mental health and
Hell yeah, it does.
money
Because,
managing. Because you
oh
have
God,
impulsiveness. It's like I want it, so I'm
that's me.
learning to,
I'm an
like I tell my
impulsive
kids,
shopper.
right? Like so, I tell my
That's my,
kids now. It's like I want it, or do you need it? Oh, it's a want, then you don't need it right now. So I had to learn it. Yeah, she was fucking rude, but that's why she's no longer getting my money.
that's why you're not allowed to touch my mouth anymore, bitch.
So sorry for you. Don't care. But at the end of the day, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys share this. Thank you, Ashley, as always,
Thank you
coming.
for having me, honey.
And thank you, Sue. And thank you to my other lovely new friend, Operation Jane, for
My
joining us.
girl.
I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all keep accountable with her. Drop them no's
Yes.
up in the DM a couple of times out of the day. And so,
They will too. Why?
look, as soon as we get off, they'll be dropping them no's. No, no, no. Like what's that group? The Destiny's Children. And it's not children, but it's Destiny's Child.
Jenny's children. Well, now she's got a bunch of children, so it does kind of
Oh. Oh. Hmm.
Destiny's children. It works.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on IG. I am mental intimacy magazine. You can subscribe to my YouTube. We're gonna be back every third Saturday. It's already a commitment. You already heard it
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
And you guys make sure you stay accountable for one another. Check out the magazine. If you feel like you need to be on a podcast to talk about your brand, your product, your services, and how it aligns. It has to align with mental health. Definitely utilize the email. Email me. I am available, or go and schedule it off of my link tree. You guys were the best. You're awesome. I am going to send you guys out my wonderful clip of how to get in contact in the vision and mission of Mental Intimacy Magazine. And I see you guys later. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. This is
Uh,
amazing. Bye.
Bye.